Quiet revenge. Your sister's kids shouldn't be around someone like you, Robert said, his voice slicing through the noise of the dining room. The room went silent. The turkey was still steaming, and the smell of cinnamon and gravy hung heavy in the air. Everyone froze: my mother, Helen, my sister, Claire, her husband, her two golden children, all looking at me, waiting for what I'd say. I slowly put my fork down. I'm sorry, what did you just say? You heard me, his father said, his tone sharper. You've turned your life into a mess. We don't need your kind of influence today, Helen added softly, but with that same dismissive tone. Daniel, please don't ruin Thanksgiving. Claire came all the way from Switzerland. Don't start. Claire didn't say a word. She just stroked her son's hair, her eyes downcast. The same picture perfect composure she'd always worn. I stood up. Then we'll go. Robert scoffed. Go ahead, we don't need your pity money. Anyway, that was it. No one stopped me. My kids followed me quietly out the door, our footsteps echoing down the hall. The November wind hit my face the second I stepped outside, cold and clean in the car. My son Ben asked, Dad, did we do something wrong? Nobody, I said, starting the engine. They did that night after I tucked Ben and Sophie into bed. I sat down at my computer. The room was dim, the glow of the screen pale against the dark. I opened the bank app one by one. I canceled every automatic payment, the electricity, the internet, the joint account that had my name on it. I transferred out what was mine, left them with what was theirs. When I clicked confirm, it felt like taking the first real breath in years. For a week, there was nothing, no calls, no messages. I thought maybe they were still basking in the glow of Claire's visit. Then my phone buzzed one morning, her name on the screen. Hey, I answered, cautious. Daniel, she said quietly, can we talk? I'm listening. I didn't know they were going to kick you out like that, she said. Right. I kept my tone flat. I swear I wasn't part of it, she said quickly. But that's not why I called. Something's going on with Mom and Dad. I sat up. What do you mean? They've been calling me nonstop, asking for money. I think they expected me to cover everything after you stopped. I laughed. That sounds like them. She hesitated. The thing is, I can't. Things aren't great right now. You the perfect one. What happened? A long pause. Then she said, my husband's gone. He took our savings. I'm in debt. Daniel, deep. For a moment, I didn't know what to say. Claire, the shining example, was finally cracked. Guess the royal life isn't so perfect after all, I said. Don't, she said quietly. I know I don't deserve sympathy. What do Mom and Dad want now? Help. They're behind on everything, but they won't admit it. When we hung up, I sat there in silence. The irony was bitter. The same people who humiliated me were now drowning, and the one they worshipped couldn't save them. 2 weeks later, Robert finally called. I almost didn't pick up. Daniel, he said, voice low, we need to talk about what your mother and we said some things we shouldn't have. I could hear the strain in his voice, the discomfort of a man who'd never had to apologize. Things been rough since you stopped paying the bills. I said. He didn't answer. How's Claire? I added, she covering for you like you expected. Another pause. Then she's having problems. Her husband left. She's not in a position to help. So you call me now? Daniel, we're your parents. I laughed. Yeah, I remember. He exhaled long and heavy. Your sister, she took money from us, drained the account. We think she's gone back to Europe. What she said she'd help with our finances. We trusted her. Then she disappeared. I leaned back, the irony sharp as glass. So the golden child robbed you blind? Don't say it like that, he snapped. She's still your sister. Sure, I said. And you're still the man who called me a loser in front of my kids. I ended the call that night I couldn't shake it, something felt off. Claire wasn't a thief, not the way he made it sound. I texted her, "Where are you?" Her reply came fast, "Can't talk." Traveling, that wasn't like her. The next day, I drove out to my parents' lake house, an old cabin they rarely used. When I pulled up, there was a car in the driveway. Claire's car. I told my kids to stay in the car and walked up to the door, knocked once, then again. The door opened a crack. She looked like a ghost, hair messy, eyes swollen. "Daniel," she whispered, mind explaining what the hell's going on. She sighed, stepped aside. The living room was a mess, open suitcases, half-eaten food, papers everywhere. "I didn't steal from them," she said. "Before I could ask, they said you did. They gave me access to the account. I told them I needed help paying debts, and they agreed, but when I asked for more, they panicked. Why didn't you tell me? Because you'd think the worst. Everyone does." She sat down on the couch, shoulders slumped. "I'm not running away. I just needed a break. I'll pay them back." I looked at her. "You should tell them that yourself. They'll never believe me." "Then welcome to my world," I said, half smiling. She managed a weak laugh. "You're right. I guess I deserved that maybe, but you still need to face them. I'm not cleaning up your mess. Will you at least come with me?" I hesitated, then nodded. "Fine, but you do the talking." "Deal." The next day, I waited in the car while she went inside our parents' house. She stayed almost an hour. When she came out, her face was pale but calm. "How'd it go there?" "Angry, but I told them the truth. I can't bail them out anymore. They'll never forgive that. I don't care," she said. "I'm done pretending." She looked at me, and for the first time in years, I saw the real her, not the perfect daughter, just a tired human being. "I'm going back to Europe," she said quietly. "I need to start over. But thank you for not giving up on me." She hugged me once, then drove off. Months passed. My parents left voicemails, desperate ones. "Daniel, the mortgage is overdue. Your mother's medical bills. Please, can you at least help with the utilities?" I didn't answer for years. They'd used guilt as currency, but now, with no one left to fund their pride, they finally had to face themselves. Robert sold the lake house. Helen got on community aid. They survived not because of me, but because they finally had to. The revenge wasn't loud. It was quiet, simple. I stopped giving. They stopped taking. That Thanksgiving, I roasted a turkey at home with Ben and Sophie. "Are we going to Grandpa's this year?" Sophie asked. "No," I said. "We're making our own tradition." She smiled. "Better one." "The best one," I said. The fire crackled in the fireplace outside. The world was cold and still, but inside there was peace. Sometimes revenge isn't a storm. It's silence. It's saying nothing and watching them tremble in the quiet they created. That year, I finally stopped waiting for an apology that was never coming, and for the first time in my life, I was free. Finally, my story ended without a sound. Months passed. The phone stayed silent long. Then messages came, desperate, full of need. "Daniel, the mortgage is overdue. Help us. Your mother has medical bills piling again. Can you pay utilities just for now?" I did not answer, left them unheard. Guilt, once heavy, now turned into peace. They had to face their own reflection. For years, guilt was their only currency. Now it was gone, empty and useless. Robert sold the lake house quietly, alone. Helen applied for community aid, humbly afraid. They survived not through me, but truth. They finally faced what they created themselves. My revenge was quiet, not made of fire. No shouting, no storm, only silence thick. I stopped giving, they stopped taking. Finally, still. That Thanksgiving, I stayed home with kids. Ben helped with the turkey, smiling proud. Sophie set the table, humming small songs. "Are we going to Grandpa this year?" No, I said, we make our own. Better one, she asked, eyes full bright. The best one, I answered, softly certain. Fire crackled inside, walls warm, gentle light. Outside, the cold air whispered against windows. Inside, peace spread like calm water slow. Sometimes revenge is silence, nothing more quiet. It is saying nothing, letting them tremble. They feel the echo of their cruelty. And I sit in peace, not hate. That year I stopped waiting for apology. It never came, and I did not care. For first time I was free breathing. Snow kept falling outside, soft, endless white. Children laughed near the fire, safe, loved. The world cold still but heart warm. Freedom in quiet, stronger than forgiveness ever. I closed my eyes, listening to them. Laughter light filling the room with life. No ghosts of anger, no shadows remaining. Only us, only warmth and gentle silence. The past gone behind closed doors forever. New life ahead, clean, pure, unbroken, steady. I looked out window at falling snow. Each flake a piece of peace granted. Finally, my story ended without a sound.